Unless you've been living under a rock, you've most definitely heard of the live streaming space, Twitch. Founded in 2007, Twitch has grown astronomically since its debut, now housing over 30 million daily active users, being the premier platform for creators to create content live, even outclassing YouTube in some respects. Popular creators like Trainwreck's Adin Ross and XQC have had a significant impact on internet culture as a whole, and with their 10 years on Twitch netting them millions of dollars, I think it's safe to say that these creators have not only launched themselves into the hearts and minds of users everywhere, but have also made Twitch a lot of money. But today's video is covering a darker and strongly contested side of Twitch. From corporate conspiracy to creator critiques, the Twitch gambling underworld is a goldmine of controversy and heated discussion. However, I think most of these videos discussing this issue miss a fundamental point. Are the creators like Adin Ross and Trainwrecks solely to blame for this online gambling phenomenon? Or are those arguments unintentionally covering for a corporation whose only interests lie in appeasing shareholders and making money? This is the dark side of Twitch gambling. It might seem ridiculous for a live gaming platform like Twitch to be hosting streams where creators often lose unthinkable amounts of money for entertainment. But in the modern age of online media, viewers often find humor and solace in the exaggerated screams and shouts of these personalities as they engage in digital gambling. However, not only is there precedent for this on Twitch, but there's also precedent for this in the gaming community as a whole. Loot boxes are a controversial topic within the discussion of live service model games, and for the last 10 or so years, they've dominated the online multiplayer scene, and consequently had a strong presence on Twitch too. Some of the most popular games played on Twitch, like CSGO and Apex Legends, make most of their money on the random chance nature of loot boxes, or as EA dubbed them, surprise mechanics. Loot boxes, being random chance, mean that players don't really know what they're going to get. They could get an awesome legendary weapon camo, or they could get a grey common profile theme that has no real use. Obviously, the odds are rigged in the favor of players getting lower rarity items, not unlike slots in a casino. The problem of loot boxes have become so large that even the Belgium Gaming Commission ruled in 2018 that loot boxes in video games were akin to gambling, and therefore subject to the country's applicable laws. The Commission stated that the loot box systems in FIFA 18, Overwatch, and CSGO must be removed, or the game publishers could face criminal charges and fines. Belgium's Minister of Justice even called for a ban on loot boxes throughout the European Union, which would no doubt burn a large hole through the pockets of many popular gaming publishers, and probably have a bad effect on Twitch too. Now let's get back to gambling. One of the most popular gambling streamers right now is TrainwrecksTV. He's often been criticized for his large gambling sponsorships, sometimes netting him millions. and his bombastic sense of humor, which often gets him into a lot of trouble. However, he's also been praised for his show, The Scuffed Podcast, which brings interesting creators from all around the internet to converse with each other, as well as his massive contribution to online culture and Twitch. So why is someone like Trainwrecks, who despite his flaws has clearly done a lot of good, netting so much hate for his gambling deals, which by all accounts are allowed on Twitch? Well, the answer might surprise you. The lead up to Twitch banning gambling is filled with distractions and drama almost entirely unrelated to the subject of this video, so I'll put it off to the side for another video. Twitch star Slicker shocked the streaming community on September 18th, 2022, when he came forward and admitted to scamming viewers, streamers, and friends out of hundreds of thousands of dollars to facilitate his gambling addiction. The estimated total of his debt was somewhere near $300,000. While some streamers made an effort to pay back those affected with their own money, others offered a different solution: a Twitch ban on gambling, almost exclusively focusing on crypto slots. The hashtag #TwitchBanGambling soared overnight, and as pressure mounted on Twitch, they released a statement to the community.
Gambling content on Twitch has been a big topic of discussion in the community, and something we've been actively reviewing since our last policy update in this area. Today, we want to update you on our plans. While we prohibit sharing links or referral codes to all sites that include slots, roulette, or dice games, we've seen some people circumvent those rules and expose our community to potential harm. So, we'll be making a policy update on October 18th to prohibit streaming of gambling sites that include slots, roulette, or dice games that aren't licensed either in the US or other jurisdictions that provide sufficient consumer protection.
The supposed problem with gambling on Twitch was never that specific sites had bad consumer protection or whether they're licensed in the US or not. It was the principle of gambling being bad, and the promotion of this practice to children being bad too. This is not what the community was asking for.
These sites will include stake.com, rollbit.com, duelbits.com, and roobet.com. However, we may identify others as we move forward. We will continue to allow websites that focus on sports betting, fantasy sports, and poker.
Why is sports betting an exception to the rule? Sports betting is just as bad as the other forms of gambling that have been criticized. It raked in $4.3 billion of revenue in 2021 and is a massive subset of the industry. This is not what the community or the streamers were asking for.
We'll share specifics on the updates to our gambling policy soon, including the full policy language, to make sure everyone is clear on our new rules before they take effect on October 18th.
Even a cursory analysis of the wording of this text makes it clear that this so-called Twitch ban isn't a ban at all. It's a cop-out to take the heat off of Twitch and Amazon. And where does that heat get redirected to? The individual streamers like Trainwrecks and XQC, who frankly don't hold as much culpability as they're being made out to. So why isn't Twitch banning gambling? And why do streamers like Pokimane celebrate this as a flawless victory when it's really more of a botched first step? Most popular Twitch streamers who critique the gambling problem seem to hold the position that it should be banned because it normalizes or promotes the practice to the audience of these streamers, who are often young children to teenagers. Take, for example, Pokimane, a figure who's seemingly dedicated a large portion of their time to tackling the gambling issue.
If you know your behavior as a streamer, as a content creator, as an influencer, as a whatever, a person in the public eye, you have to understand your behavior influences what other people want to do. If that's the case,
well, they
maybe
know that
don't
they're getting
showcase
paid.
that.
They're paid.
It's clear that Pokimane isn't a fan of Twitch gambling, but a simple Google search reveals Pokimane doing a mystery box Pokemon card unboxing livestream, with her unboxing $25,000 worth of Pokemon trading cards and getting them valued.
I knew
That it was undervalued?
Yeah, because in my head I was like, there's no way these cards are valued at this price at the moment. And then so I looked them up and they were like 500 at the time and like 200, 300 each.
And now they're the 10th one. And so he has like 3 mint condition 9s at Venusaur.
I found these in a board game shop. I went with my CLG Academy boys. We were looking for board games. And this guy was selling all 3 of these for $220.
How much are they worth now?
I think the Charizard's like 1,500, maybe 2K, something like
On
that.
its own?
And the other are like a couple hundred. Yeah.
This is stonks.
Literally. They don't eat that.
A single pack of 10 Pokemon trading cards costs $7, but prices for them can go all the way up to $300 depending on the pack and the size. On top of that, buying the more expensive packs increases your chance of getting higher value cards. If you purchase 10 standard packs for a total of $70, you'd have 100 cards, but the chances of pulling something valuable would be much slimmer. However, if you bought 20 expensive packs, your chance of getting good cards would astronomically increase. In a sense, there's a financial incentive for you to spend more on each card in hopes that you get better cards. This involves gambling and acts similarly to loot boxes and coincidentally slot machines. You can play a single line and still have a chance of winning, but if you play multiple lines and increase your stake, you have a bigger chance of winning a larger pot. Many other streamers like Ludwig and Mizkif, despite their criticisms of gambling, have opened these premium and expensive mystery boxes, no doubt promoting them to their young audience, and sometimes they've even partaken in gambling themselves. On top of that, most of these streamers focus their critiques on slots and roulette, the most common types of gambling, and coincidentally, the easiest to detest. But there's a form of gambling equally as bad, if not worse depending on your viewpoint, as the ones we've discussed, that seems to get next to no attention from these streamers, and that form of gambling is sports betting. Sports betting is the activity of predicting sports results and placing a wager on the outcome, similarly functioning to roulette. Sports betting on all accounts is textbook gambling, so why doesn't it get any attention compared to its more traditionally contested counterparts? Well, in order to understand that, we have to understand a little bit of corporate politics. DraftKings is an American daily fantasy sports contest and sports betting company. The company allows users to enter daily and weekly fantasy sports related contests and wager money based on individual player performances in most major American sports. There is no doubt that DraftKings is a successful company, making up almost 30% of sports betting profits in 2021. They also have lucrative sponsorships with many Twitch and gaming frontrunners like Nick Merckx and FaZe Clan's CSGO team. Amazon, founded by Jeff Bezos, is one of the most profitable companies in the world, being a household name for their online marketplace and streaming service Prime Video. Amazon, coincidentally, is also Twitch's parent company. On September 13th of 2022, DraftKings announced a multi-year partnership with Amazon, meaning they would be featured across programming and provide digital content during Thursday Night Football on Prime Video. A very lucrative deal for DraftKings, and an amazing opportunity for Amazon too. All of this should paint a pretty clear picture for you. Amazon has partnered with DraftKings because they have something to gain, just like DraftKings has something to gain by partnering with creators to grow their brand and influence. And while some creators do nothing to prevent the spread, there does appear to be some level of understanding from individuals like Trainwrecks, who put disclaimers in their streams to prevent people from getting sucked in without knowing the risks. The reason why Twitch won't ban sports betting or the less condemnable fantasy sports is because Amazon has a responsibility to their shareholders to make money, to profit, and they will never truly take any action unless the community outcry does enough damage to their wallets to outweigh the benefits of partnering with companies like DraftKings. In this way, Twitch and Amazon completely outmaneuvered their own streamers. Twitch gave them a tiny crumb of what they wanted, and they sat down, patted themselves on the back for a job well done, and did nothing. Twitch's ban was yet another distraction from the real issue. But nothing's ever truly finished, and while the blame continues to be put on individual streamers like Trainwrecks, companies like Amazon get away with blatant endorsement of the very thing they claim to be taking measures against. Loot boxes, for example, are just as bad of an issue morally as sports betting and slots. They're both bad for the same reason. You're putting money down hoping to earn something that you, in reality, have a very low chance of actually getting. A lie by omission. If streamers want to take a stand against gambling for the bad effects it has on people, they need to be consistent in their values. Rules don't mean anything if you don't apply them to everyone, and apply them fairly. Twitch also has this same issue with consistency, their ban being a clear example of the consequences of not unilaterally applying a proposed principle. My message to Twitch is this: either ban slots and sports betting and its affiliated activities, or don't ban any of them at all. And if you're going to implement a restriction on online gambling, how far are you willing to go to be consistent? Thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.